Howdy y'all. Got my community service shirt on this morning. Just kidding actually. I'm on my way down to the shop. I'm in the 8th gen. Man, we were on our way home last night and this thing just started making some funky noises. Okay, that was just scraping. But making some terrible noises in the front end and banging and whatnot over here on the driver's side. So I'm gonna take it easy. There it was right there. Take it easy, get to work, see what the heck I got going on with this thing. Here, you'll hear it here. Hear that little banging maybe a little bit. It's mainly on bumps or turning, so I don't know what the deal with it is. But we're gonna get that figured out. Hopefully the wheel don't fall off the old 8th gen today on my way to work. That would really upset me. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I jumped around on it and whatnot, tried to figure it out at the house and couldn't. Hear that? It's just crazy. I don't know what it is. And we developed a pull, so we had an alignment done. This thing was fine, and now it tries to pull to the right when you're going down the road. So, like I said, let's get to the shop. Let's see what we got going on and fix the old daily, because man, I need to make sure it's safe for Rochelle to drive and make sure we can get around and get to where we need to go in this thing. It's our old trusty, so let's get to work. Alright y'all, I made it here to the shop. We got the 8th gen in. Lyle's down here helping me with it. We kind of took a quick look at it. We definitely need some inner tie rods and a wheel bearing on this side. It's the only wheel bearing we've never done. We did both the rears and the driver's side like right as soon as we bought the car. But this one wasn't making no funny noises, so we never did it. But it's finally time to do that and the inners. So that's definitely what the noises and vibrations are. And look at this, he brought us a battery for ours because, oh well, now my clicker's working. Woo! Damn thing. Anyways, so we're gonna figure this clicker out, run to the parts store and get some parts, and then fix up this 8th gen. Alright y'all, got our parts, good old O'Reilly's. Now we gotta go to the other O'Reilly's and get our wheel bearing and return a part. So off to the other store. Alright y'all, got our wheel bearing. That was stop number 2. And picked up a set of coils so I can try to get that 39 possibly running. Wires, yep. See, good thing I got him around with me. Always keeping me on track. So a set of wires, we gotta build these wires, but we got them, O'Reilly's. We're gonna go get some food. Lyle's hungry. And catch y'all back at the shop. Alright y'all, we're working on getting this side tore down. We got the wheel off, axle nut off, pulling the suspension bolts, getting ready to get those out. And then this side is the only side that needs a wheel bearing. And then we're gonna work on both the inners. Since we're doing one, we might as well do both. We got our good old Master Pro wheel bearing here. Got the good old buddy clubs on this thing. It rides pretty good yet. I should probably check those 3 bolts up there and make sure that they're tight. Absolutely. On the tops of both the, I think that might be part of the problem. Who knows if those are tight or not. But wheel bearing. The one wheel bearing we haven't done. And it makes sense. So last night we were driving home, the wife and I, and we're driving. And then all of a sudden we're making a turn and then we hear this tinging and then a bang. And like Lyle was telling me today, it was probably my wheel bearing letting go, this one on this side, because I just wiggled it the other day and I had like no movement in it, but we wiggled it today and it's got a lot of movement in it, so that noise was probably the wheel bearing letting go along with inner tie rods. So we're gonna monkey this spindle on out of here and go ahead and change it. Alright, so it is definitely out. Not too bad, pretty easy, only took a couple minutes with Lyle and I BSing here. Yeah, it's making some noise for show. I bet you're right. So we're gonna get this thing over on the press, get it changed out. I put a newer lower ball joint in it not too long ago, so it should definitely just be that bearing there. Fun stuff. The good old ghetto way of pressing out back. Alright, so we got it out. Like always, the race came with it, so I'll grind that off. Press the new one in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again. There we go. There. Yep.
Check this knife out, y'all. This is Lyle's handy dandy. He made this notch the other day so he could strip some wires. He's got a flathead on it. This thing is B status here. That's a handy dandy tool to have. I like having that tool around. So we got the snap ring out. Now we need to press the bearing out, cut the race off that one, push the new one in. Got the old bearing out. Cut the race, and then as soon as we get the race cut off of this here spindle, we'll put the new one on and boogie on. Need me to hold it? Safety first. Safety first.
PPE is mandatory. Safety is paramount on the range, double. Where the fuck is your earplugs?
Clean that up a little bit. Got this one off. That one was nice and tight on there. Now we're gonna go ahead and press the new one on. Slap this back in. Do the tie rods. Call it a day for the 8th gen. Ah, fuck.
No.
Don't do it.
Don't get my face in there.
These are gonna be. That's gonna be a tricky one, huh? Can't hate it. Got it. Boom.
That's an adult solving a fucking problem.
Snap ring is in. Now just trying to set that in there like that. Throw it back in the car.
Put a hub, doohickeys back there.
Doohickeys back there. Yep, that's right. Like he was just saying, Frederick was saying there. If you put something back here on this race,
press it back in later.
Yep, won't press itself out. So we'll do that and get this thing back on the car. Woo! 8th gen should be problem free now. Should be. Another contraption we've got here. This one should work pretty well. Keep going.
There it is.
That's it? Just to make sure it's pressed.
Because it'll pop back up. See?
Yeah. Full compression on it. We didn't have to repress the ring. Woohoo! Just like that, we got it pressed. Thanks to old Frederick over here and his ingenuity, we got that there. So now we're gonna throw this back on and then do some tie rods. Maybe do that tie rod with that one off, huh?
Easier.
Yeah, maybe have a little extra room. Yep. Do the inner on that side, so let's dive into those. Alright, so we've pulled the boot back, and as you can see there, right there's the inner tie rod. So what we're gonna do now is Lyle's gonna put a pipe rip. Lyle Frederick is gonna put a pipe wrench on it.
Whatever his name is.
Break it loose. I'm so used to him being a Lyle.
I know. That's my real name.
That's his real name.
This is my stage name.
His stage name's Frederick.
Frederick.
He goes by Frederick. All right, so that's the inner there loosened up. Now we just got to break the outer right here from the inner and slap it back on. Alright y'all, so you see that little tab on there? It actually bends over and locks down onto this side right here. So it keeps that from being able to unspin. So right here actually folds over onto there, both top and bottom, and keeps that from being able to come loose again. I just learned that from Frederick, so that's a pretty good little tip there. So we made our final adjustment and then went in just a hair. So if we have a problem, the wheels will actually be kicked in just a skosh versus out for at least the day or so, so I can at least drive this thing. If the wheels were super kicked out, it'd make it super tough, where if they're towed in a little bit, it'll still be a little bit of a bugger, but better. It'll just feel like you got some wide tires on it trying to grab the road. Yeah.
Instead of trying to yank you off the road.
Yeah, exactly. Keep you on versus taking you off, so. But I mean, we should be super close. I eyeballed the outers when I put them on, just straight eyeballed them, and it was really close. So if we measured it, we should be
pretty close.
Pretty dang close. Close enough to rock it for a day or two. Just got the hub all set, lower ball joints in place. Let's go ahead and get this all on. Alright, so ABS sensors in, we're all tight here, lower ball joints tight. So now I just gotta put rotor, brakes on, and this side will be basically done. Sweet. Yeah. Alright, we're all back together. Even got the handy dandy zip tie holding the ABS back to the strut there, but everything's on. Alright y'all, that's that. It's all tight, all looking good. Gonna pull it off the jack and take it for a drive. Alright, so we got it all back together. Went for a little test drive and developed that. Oh lordy. You know what that is? That is the frickin' brake caliper itself rubbing. So when we pressed the spindle out of the hub, I had the two ears that mount the brake caliper onto the hub onto pry bars. Well, the pry bars were bending a little bit and I didn't think anything of it. Everything pressed out okay, gave a bang, all came out as y'all seen. Apparently I bent the damn ear tab, pardon my language, but I did, and it stinks. So yeah, this actual bracket right here is rubbing on, this one is rubbing on the rotor. So when we put it all together, it looked kind of cattywampus, but I thought maybe it was just the dust shield on the back. So then when we started pressing, I mean, it all leveled out, looked okay. The bearing went in, I mean, everything, bearing's fine. But then, oh man. So I'm gonna pull this wheel off, try to beat that thing around, try to get enough clearance to get it past till I can source one, because I really need the 8th gen on the road. I had good old Frederick run me to the house, and I got the wagon. So, but this thing, man, I can't be daily in the wagon. It ain't daily worthy. I mean, it's a good weekend cruiser. It just isn't daily worthy. So, I'm gonna try to figure this thing out. Alright, so it's gonna be kind of hard to tell, but if you look, you can see that actual bracket is rubbing. So that's what we're fighting. I am going to try and figure out Yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out how to bend those back. It's just, I don't get this at all. So anyways, yeah, let's take the rotor off, this brake caliper back off. So what needs to happen is that tab needs to be bent back, well, this way, however back, and it'll allow this whole thing to sit back again. And I believe the bottom, I never really looked. No, the bottom's clear. So if y'all can see, the actual brake is, oh man, sorry for that, y'all. The actual brake itself is good. So it's really just that upper tab. And I noticed it when I put it on that it, like I was saying, it was at an angle, and I didn't think anything of it because it seemed to level out. So, but apparently it bent that tab. So I'm gonna pull all that off, and then let's see what we're looking at. So that's a pretty nice ring all the way around. It catches a nail for sure. So what it would have to be is this bracket's bent. I don't know how in the world I bent it, but it would have to be bent. If we look right, let me see if I can get it for y'all. Let me see if I can pull this out so y'all can see it pretty good. Y'all can see that, but that shiny down in there, oh, wrong side, that shiny right down there is from lordy, it's crazy. Brake ain't chewed up none, ain't nothing wrong with that brake. It is strictly the actual caliper. So I don't know if I'm gonna try to maybe shave that down or heat this tab and bend it back. I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna do a little brainstorming here and then decide what I'm gonna do. Alright, so I've decided I'm gonna just use a board, place the corner of it there, and hit it with this hammer. And I really don't know how much to hit it, so I'm just going to hit it a few times, put it back together, spin it, see if it's rubbing. If it's not, great. If it is, take it back apart, put it back together. So I will fill y'all in when this thing is straight. Alright, y'all see that gap? That's how much I bent this thing. That's a pretty good bend there. So yeah, I'm gonna try to beat and keep beating this thing. I was just trying to let this hang back by one bolt here and beat it, but that ain't working. So I'm gonna take this back off, take the rotor back off, and beat it like huge hammer. I don't know how it bent that much. That's just, I mean, my mind's still boggled. I did the driver's side basically the same way. I've done all of them pretty ghetto. So for this one to bend, it's kind of surprising, but it is what it is, and we'll get it figured out. Alright, so after a lot of cussing and hammering and beating, I've got it. So if y'all can see there, I think that gap is finally gone. You can finally see the brake down there. Up here, and it's all tight, everything's bolted down, it's all good, it got its wiggle room, it spins. So I just beat it until I think I finally got it. So with that being said, I'm gonna put the wheel back on, take this thing for a little test drive, and hope it's good to go. Alright, I think it's good to go. I'm gonna go get it off this jack. Let's see what it does. I hope this fixes it, man. I'm tired of issues. I got so much customer stuff I need to get done that this is just a real big inconvenience, and hopefully this is resolved so I can carry on with my business. Let's go for a little cruise and see. Y'all want to see something? Check this out. 180,000 miles. I'll drive this old girl. Hopefully I don't run over my phone. All seems well. I don't hear nothing. I hope I beat it enough, and hopefully it just stays fixed. Oh yeah, that's a whole lot better. Before it was scraping, just trying to move it really. So now, as you can see, forward and back, nothing. Turning, nothing. Braking, nothing. So, I'll call that a success. Maybe not the right way to do it, but the only way I had to do it. So, it bent itself, so why not just bend it back? Easy enough, I'd say. So, yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna call this one a wrap. We got the 08th gen fixed up here, so I'm going to actually pull the wagon inside. Everything's good to go on this. I'm gonna run it to the house, make sure it's all good, grab the wife, grab some dinner, and then come down and have her drop me off so I can drive this thing back to the house tonight. I don't like it just sitting down here. I don't even really like driving it. To be honest, I'm trying to sell the wagon, and every time I drive it, I mean, that's a possibility of someone running into me or just something happening. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. So there's so many things that can come up, so many things that can happen. I just don't like driving it with me trying to sell it. Now, if I was keeping it, I would daily the wagon. I don't really have a problem with that. Just the factor of needing minor things to be a daily, like a good battery and the seat belt's kind of finished up. Just a few things. So I know it's kind of hard to sell a car that's not finished, but also it's a right-hand drive wagon that runs good, no check engine lights, nothing like that. All the gauges work. So I mean, oh, it does need an axle, possibly at some point in time. It's got one that's kind of ticking. I believe it's an axle that's ticking. Sounds kind of like one, but I've been driving it a lot of months now with the noise, so it don't bother me. It hasn't given me any issues, but we'll see what happens with the old wagon. I might end up keeping it, turboing it, and doing something with this thing. It's a lot of fun. I need to put a headliner in it, but other than that, I mean, the wagon's a great car. Cloth top works, everything in it works. So but really want to focus on these two, and yeah, so stay tuned for this swap coming up soon, the S10 onto the Plymouth or vice versa. Anyways, enough rambling. I will catch y'all on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later.